YouTube, what the crap's going on? Welcome to the chill flow. No, this isn't a station with smooth tunes to, waste away your day. This is actually a map in Total War Warhammer 2, and I'm getting the chance to try out Rakarth, the new free DLC lord for the Dark Elves, who is a beast tamer, and that's what he bodes in campaign. This obviously is going to take a look at multiplayer. If you want to see a little bit more of what he will be like in campaign tonight, and I will have this up on my channel, I will be streaming campaign with Rakarth and give you a good solid look at him. We'll talk through all the features. I'll have those available, and we'll discuss it as the stream begins. So please join me for that. But starting things off, I am going to have Rakarth on his dragon mount here. You can see his stats on the dragon. He is a pretty significantly anti-large character. A decent charge bonus, about the same armor we'd expect for a black dragon. And like I said, it's very nice weapon strength here with 380 armor piercing and a 15 bonus versus large. I am going to be facing off against Indypride over at the Milk and Cookies Total War channel and his Imrik army here. So pretty excited to take this on. He's actually got Imrik on his Star Dragon, so this will be a really cool matchup. Star Dragon doesn't have anti-large, but also does massive damage. So gonna be a pretty cool matchup. He's got some Silverin Guard as kind of a main line, and then he's backing them up with some additional spearmen. He's got a life mage and some lion chariots of trace, and then out here we've got several Illyrian Reaver archers. Now as for my army, I had Rakarth, as I mentioned, and we have to have some beast, so I had a couple of feral manticores to support him in the air, which I'm hoping will give me some extra maneuverability and ways to keep Imrik busy. And then I have some Cold One Knights, a couple of bolt throwers, a blackguard witch elf, 2 Black Art Corsairs, and 2 Dread Spears. So a fairly varied army here in terms of what I have to offer. Let's hit play. Initially, I was firing at the cavalry and the chariots, but then I realized that the mage is going to probably be the easiest target, and that if I am firing at one of these targets, Indy will either have to spend effort maneuvering it out of my fire, which, again, hopefully was going to buy me some opportunities elsewhere. I'm going to take 1 Manticore and get the archers off my case. I'm going to take 1 Manticore and keep Imrik busy. And I was hoping to kill off the mage with Rakarth, but it's not really going to sit still, so I decided to go elsewhere and just help win an infantry fight quickly. But you can see Imrik put down the Manticore. No surprise, of course, but he did it a little bit faster than I expected. So he got rid of that Manticore in a big hurry. See, the Life Mage is really getting wrecked hard by the bolt throwers. I don't know that Indypride realized that I was firing at it. I do have a Dark Rider back here, and I'm going to use it to escort the Life Mage off the battlefield once and for all. And again, you can see my Manticore, again, kind of wasted, but kind of not wasted because it's keeping those archers off me. Indy's going to come through with some spearmen and engage my Witch Elves. They won't win that fight, but it's not a bad idea because you certainly don't want those Witch Elves coming after someone like Imrik. I'm a little bit slow to react over here. I need to get my Cold One Knights in here, and I'm going to do so. Try and chase Imrik out of here, and I'm going to come engage with Rakarth as well. Try and use his anti-large capabilities. Obviously, I needed to protect the bolt throwers as much as is possible. And I have to say that the Silverin Guard have done some yeoman's work against the Black Art Corsairs. Obviously, their higher armor is helping them to stand up very well to a unit that would have easily chopped through standard spearmen. Now, instead, I decide to attack the Lion Chariots, and then I end up facing off with Imrik, who gets a really nice charge on me, and he's using the Star Lance. I was going to say, no doubt he's going to use that. And you can see that Imrik starts to punch a gaping hole into Rakarth. We're going to get a cool dragon animation here where they're dueling. Good stuff. And Imrik is easily winning this duel at the moment because of the stats that he comes on, and he had the charge on me. So it was not ideal for me. One way or the other, though, I'm going to have to get Rakarth out of this. But meanwhile, I'm doing okay. The Witch Elves have cleaned up a Spearman. Now they're going to be working on a Silverin Guard, which they have basically berserked. I still have a Black Guard sitting back here. I've got a Dread Spear holding back another Silverin Guard. And my Bolt Throwers are still doing their thing. So they're going to be able to pick at Imrik here and help me get rid of some of his health. Because I got rid of the Mage, neither one of us has any healing. Which is good for me, because that's actually one of the biggest weaknesses for the Dark Elves, is they don't have any healing. And so that's, like I said, very good for me, very bad for Indy. But we'll see how this one plays out. So I've got Rakarth moving away here from that fight and getting ready to do some breath attacks and some other support. I saw this Spearman back here. I was hoping for a little bit better hit than that, but they were You see a couple of units were just kind of flung back here. That's what messed that up really bad for me. Also, the Silverin Guard, I expected these guys to route a little easier whenever I was doing rear charges, but they did not. Their leadership is considerably higher. They're a tough unit, and it was difficult for me to get rid of them. My bolt throwers are still going. Look at this. I reacted just a hair late to the breath attack, so a much better breath attack there from Imrik. But my Blackguard survived. I wouldn't say it was great. They took a ton of damage. Star Dragon's breath attack is absolutely brutal. It's probably the worst out there. I say probably. I mean, it seems to me that it's certain it's the worst out there. Imrik's going to have a hard time landing now because my bolt throwers have done him so much damage. However, my bolt throwers are starting to be threatened by infantry. One of them is in bad shape, and this one is now in a pretty rough condition as well, so that is not ideal, but my Witch Elves are absolutely owning. They've chopped through 190-ish enemies. I've still got Dark Riders to escort out routing units, so it's not a bad situation for me. It's been a relatively close fight, and many things have gone both right and wrong for me. The Imrik engagement obviously went very wrong for me. But the engagement against the mage went good. I do have a Manticore back here who's just clinging on to life, barely came back. I mean, if you look at where it came back, this is like some AI-type luck for me back here. I just haven't noticed it, probably because I didn't expect it at that point. But yeah, I'm going to be able to clean up this Silverin Guard. We've got one more over here. I'm going to send the Witch Elves after it. I still do have the Archers back here, which have been a continual nuisance. And another Silverin Guard here. Now, this Silverin Guard has done well so far. It's not going to be able to face up against the Black Guard. They will cut it down, assuming no outside influence, which there is outside influences. You got Imrik here, and he may be moving in for another breath attack. I was looking to do the same back here with the Silverin Guard. They have now berserked in the engagement with the Witch Elves, who are now over 200 kills. So they have done a stupendous job. Imrik decides to try and KO one of my Cold One Knights. Not a bad idea. They are exposed and in pretty rough condition. I have another Cold One Knight moving in that's going to drive Imrik up in the air, but I can at least go ahead and try and get a hold of these Illyrian Reaver Archers. My Cold One Knights are very slow. Here comes that breath attack that I kind of expected, and it hits me. Also hits the Silverin Guard. Damage to both of us. I mean, Imrik kind of has to make that attack, so I certainly don't blame Indypride for doing it. There is one more Silverin Guard over here, the one that was able to finally defeat my Witch Elves. And we're going to see another landing here by Imrik. I'm going to bring in my Dark Riders and my Cold One Knights, and then I'm going to bring Rakarth over here too and try and mostly ignore the Silverin Guard. I got my Manticore back finally, and I'm going to use it to try and get some extra charge damage done. This time I'm going to have the benefit of getting a charge versus Imrik getting it. He is still using his Star Lance, which is going to make him immensely powerful. But I'm going to be able to turn this one around and take a decent chunk out of Imrik to start things here. The Illyrian Reaver Archers are definitely helping to bolster number, as are the Silverin Guard. But I'm able to get rid of the Reaver Archers, and then I have a berserking unit of Cold One Knights that at least gets some damage done charging into the Silverin Guard. And I have a few Blackguard who are here helping to chip away at Imrik as well. And a pretty brutal fight ensues here in the end, and my forces are able to overcome. So a very tight battle, a fun one here with Indypride. Every battle I play with him is a fun challenge. Not only, I think I like playing battles with Indypride for two reasons. One, he's a good player, and that's always fun to be playing against a good player. And two, he doesn't just like try hard to win, you know what I mean? He brings different types of builds, different types of lords, and he manages to do pretty good with them in almost every situation. And so I think that's another reason why I like playing him, is because it's not like playing Mr. Meta, you know what I mean? Like, he's not afraid to bring other units, and that's great. That's good to see from people. Again, if you were in a tournament, it wouldn't be the right mindset, but when you're just trying to have fun and enjoy the game, this is a mindset that I can always appreciate. Not to mention he's an awesome guy with a great YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked him out, you should go do it. I've gotten to meet him a couple times in real life, and he is an awesome guy, and he really loves the game and loves making videos, and you can tell his content is really good. Let's take a look at the stats here. Imrik, 3,502 damage value. That is quite an epic achievement there. Not bad at all. In fact, I would say rather good. Though his mage did take the worst of it in this battle. The Silverin Guard performed very admirably for the most part. Not all of them, but I think 3 of the 4 did very well. The Chariots did not get the value they needed, though his Archers, again, I think performed pretty well, all things considered here. You go look at my units. Rakarth, not a great performance for him, considering his cost. He did win in the end, and he was able to help KO Imrik. But when you're just looking at pure value here, it wasn't a great value for him. No pun intended for the Walmart brand there, but in any case, that's what we had. My infantry, the only one that really provided any value here was the Witch Elves, and they did punch very well. My Blackguard took a ton of damage and didn't necessarily deal enough in return to pay for themselves, though in the end, again, a very important unit because they made it to the end of the battle and were helping to chip away at Imrik, just from a value standpoint. None of my other units were terribly impressive except for the Bolt Throwers, which ended up being a real key in this battle. They were able to fire for a very long time. They did a lot of damage to Indy's two main characters and were a key component to my ability to be able to get a victory here. And so the Bolt Throwers actually probably really were the MVP for me. But fun matchup here between two dragon riding lords, right? One the Master of Beast, the other also a Master of Beast, I guess. It's just mostly Dragon Beast. And so a fun matchup indeed. Appreciate Indy playing it with me. Hope you all enjoyed it. HeirofCarthage signing out for now, and I will see you all again soon.